Is it at all possible to have a single secular school system? One school system for all? A myth? Raju has 3 school-going children. He sent 2 to a national school and 1 to a Tamil vernacular school. He is now wishing that he had sent the other 2 kids to a Tamil school also. He sees between them a huge difference.
And they are telling me that the Tamil school has improved a lot. So I got 2 children in other school. But when I put my son in standard 1 here, Tamil theriyada paya seekirama Tamil kattukittan and he is improving. Compared to other school that my children goes, he does his homework a lot. He finishes his book and he comes back with homework. So I'm very happy with Tamil school now. I'm sad that I never sent my 2 children to Tamil school.
Raju sends his youngest child to Vivekananda Tamil School in PJ. According to the statistics of the National Education Blueprint 2006 to 2010, there are 98,579 children in Malaysia enrolled in partially funded Tamil vernacular language-based primary schools and 645,669 students enrolled in Chinese primary schools in 2005 alone. The report shows there is an increase in enrollment of students in Chinese schools from 581,082 in 1990 to 645,669 in 2005, and in the same 15-year period, Tamil schools saw an increase in enrollment of students from 96,120 to 98,579.
The number of students in Chinese school every year increase, also in Tamil school. Number of students increase, but the number of school decrease. How come? I think the policy not declare very clearly, but that is a policy. No new school in Chinese school. Very few. Only in election time. Election time, you know.
In December 2008, Professor Tan Sri Dr. Koo Kay Kim was reported to have said that Chinese and Indians, being minority races in the country, should give up the use of Mandarin and Tamil as mediums of instruction in their respective schools. He also added that non-Malays need to compromise and relinquish the Chinese and Tamil education they are conducting in their primary schools in favor of the one-school education system for continued peace in the country.
One of our students here some years ago wrote a thesis on the vernacular school system, and he published a book and gave the book the title Seeds of Separatism. I think it's very interesting that he gave the book that title. But the British, of course, did not succeed in changing the minds of the people. They did not use force, you see. They tried to persuade, and the people refused to change their views. They wanted in different schools for different people, although they were going to be all nationals of one nation. You see. And since then it has been almost impossible to bring about one single system of schooling. Singapore succeeded.
On the same note, Mukris Mahathir told the government to put an end to vernacular schools so that Chinese and Tamil schools can be streamlined into one Malaysian education system. Both men's proposal for one school system sparked a nationwide outcry and stirred up debates over race and ethnic relations in the mainstream media and in the blogosphere. Following the academician and the politician's views, many non-governmental organizations in support of vernacular schools have come forward to oppose the opinions of both men.
Well, I think there are 2 problems with Mukri's statement. One is his tone. You know, when you call for the abolishment of vernacular schools, by saying that this school caused polarization, you are blaming the vernacular school education. That is not right. Although the point itself, calling for an integrated school system, is correct. Alright? And second itself is that, you know, when you look into aspect of politics, when you only tell people that abolish a system and you do not give a proper solution, that doesn't help either. So you're telling people tear down your house, but you're not trying to tell people that you should tear down your house because the roof is collapsing, the foundation is not strong. Perhaps you should tear it down and rebuild something new. And here's the plan. Maybe you can build it this way. So I think the intent and the way he did it was wrong, right? So I think because of that, it defeats the entire purpose of his statement.
Let us go back to Mukri's statement. I like Mukri's statement. What Mukri should do is, he should seriously implement that in the Malay schools first. Now he should actually make in the SK schools Tamil as a compulsory subject for the Indians, Mandarin as a compulsory subject for the Chinese, and prove it to us for next 5 years. Then we will have more faith in what he says.
He might be politicizing the whole issue. He might be sincere about what he says. But what he says creates more questions. It stirs people to think. Yeah, but when people, are enraged and goes against all this, people are not thinking. People should be able to think and take this context not as something that is eating into their own culture or completely diminishing the culture and all that, but it's something that one should think of on a bigger picture, on the vision of Malaysia.
Atho Mukris, இன்னைக்கு கூட ஒரு பத்திரிகை செய்தி என்னன்னு சொன்னா, மலாய்க்காரர்களுடைய ஒருமைப்பாட்டை பாதுகாப்பதற்காக அம்னோவும் பாஸும் ஒன்னா சேரணும்ன்றாரு. இன்னைக்கு அவருடைய நியூஸ் இது இல்லைங்களா? அப்படின்னா அவர் மைண்ட்ல என்ன வச்சிருக்காரு? அவர் மைண்ட்ல மலேசியரை வச்சிருக்காரா, மலாய்க்காரரா வச்சிருக்காரா? இதை நாங்க மீண்டும் மீண்டும் சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கிறோம் இல்லைங்களா? நம்ம மலேசியரை பத்தி சிந்திப்போம் நம்ம சொல்றோம், ஆனா அம்னோ மலாய்க்காரர்களை பத்தி சிந்திப்போம்னு சொல்றாங்க.
But there are mixed reactions from the public. Malaysia Kini took to the streets to ask some parents about what they think of a single school system, similar to that of Singapore.
The way we look at it, no, because there's a lot of discrimination. I mean, different schools, Chinese, you look at that, they feel that they are much ahead of the other, like Tamil schools. I mean, basically, computer-wise, their standard and education. And, I believe we have all the nationalities in one school, and it's easier for them to get along, and then you have mixing with one another. Otherwise, you are a Chinese, I'm Indian, you are a Malay, it's been like that.
So there is three kinds of, basic race: Tamil school, Chinese school, and Kebangsaan school. So if you have one system, it's obviously better. You either focus on Bahasa or English or whatsoever. But now the problem, even the science and maths, they cannot even get it right this time. They are using them as a guinea pig.
As I say, our whole education system needs to be overhauled. It should be not the Malayanization of school, but it should be the Malaysianism of school.
If we continue thinking with race or ethnicity in our eyes, we will never be able to solve this problem. Of course, it's ideal to have a single school system, right? But are we willing to make the sacrifice? And that is where my letter concluded, right? Are we willing to make the sacrifice? Because everyone has to sacrifice, right? If it's going to be a secular education system, what about the Sekolah Agama? Sekolah Agama has a long tradition. And you must remember, the Malays have already sacrificed by giving up Jawi for Rumi. They have cut themselves off at the knees for national cohesiveness. And why are the Chinese not willing to do anything? So I think this is very important.
Many believe that the Malaysian dual education system will need to be re-looked at. Some parents quietly feel that the dual school system contributes to racial polarization, as stereotyping is reinforced when children of the same race dominate a school, especially at a young and impressionable age. Some deny that the dual system have contributed to racial polarization and blame this on the country's ethnic-based political party system and government policies.